welcome to Grange Month 2023. I am Philip Vonada, your National Grange Communications Director, and tonight, on the first of our 2023 Grange Month Zoom series, we are talking all things Grange Revival. So tonight we have members of our Grange Revival committee here, and we're going to be led by leader Chris Hamp, who also happens to be the National Grange Vice President. So Chris, do you want to introduce everyone else who's here with us tonight?
Sure. I apologize for a late start. We have technical difficulties in Eastern Washington with a little bit of thunder, and evidently that took out the internet. So adapt and overcome, right? So tonight is Amanda Rosanna Rios from Pennsylvania and Carrie Blasingame from Illinois. Have three of us are going to collaborate tonight on giving the update for Grange Revival, what we call Grange Revival 3.0, which is the third biannual event. We started in 2019 down in Arkansas, and then spent 2021 together in South Dakota in Sturgis, and are looking forward to heading for the Upper Peninsula of Michigan in July for round 3. And just to kick us off a little bit, Grange Revival, what we fondly call Grange with your feet up. And so all of those things that frustrate us with conventions, state conventions, national convention, regional conferences, because the schedule is so tight and we're running around so hard that we never really have a chance to sit down and take a breath. That's what Grange Revival is. So that's what we're looking for, are those folks that are looking forward to just catching up with friends, making new friends, and hanging out for a few days without the wear and tear of a conference.
Amanda and Carrie, it's on you.
Well, I have the outline for what we were going to talk about. I think Carrie, you do as well. So we have her here in spirit, right?
Okay. We might get her back at some point.
I know. And Carrie's muted. So hopefully she'll unmute herself and
she comes back.
And see, look, we bantered enough, just long enough getting Chris back. While we're doing this, we should introduce National Grange President Betsy Huber, who is there. I don't know where she is on anyone else's screen, but at least for me, the little dance goes there. And this is something that's come during your term as president in Grange. And you've been at both of the first two, and the third one you're already signed up. So that's exciting. And I think you talked about it being something that you felt was similar to something that we do in Pennsylvania, but also just something that was important. So while we're waiting on Chris to get back on, Betsy, do you want to just take a second and say how exciting it is to have something like this?
I was state president in Pennsylvania. We started our family festival, and Grange Revival is very similar. It's a camping weekend, week, 4 or 5 days in both cases, and it's just a time of fellowship, sometimes tours, sometimes workshops, some educational, some craft, doing different kinds of crafts, learning new crafts, and just a time to relax and gather, as Amanda said, outside of convention, where we don't have so many responsibilities. We have time to just sit and chat. So it's a great time.
I'll start, Carrie, with locations and dates, and then if you want to talk a little bit about registration info. So this year, as Chris mentioned, we are in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, which is a really cool place. We've kind of been doing different landscapes, and so we are at Log Cabin Resort and Campground. We are on one of the many lakes in that area. And our dates are Tuesday, July 18th through Sunday, July 23rd. So check in on Tuesday, check out on Sunday, and just kind of a come as you are in a lot of ways. So if you don't get there till Wednesday, or if you need to leave early on Friday, you're not missing anything per se, except for the fellowship and fun. So this is certainly the opportunity to kind of come and enjoy time together. Carrie, if you don't want to do registration info, you can hop onto something else.
Well, what I have down for registration is the registration is on our Grange Revival website and on the Facebook page. And you need to get it in pretty soon. The cost it's $75 per person. And the cost goes up on April 15th. And so we're a few days away. If you get it in the mail before April 15th, then it's $75. Otherwise, it's $80. We charge you a little bit more.
And that 75 or 80 is like the top end cost. That's for a member, or for a top end cost for a member. But if you're a member for 50 plus years, you're a golden sheaf, you get a benefit here. We give a rate discount if you're a junior member or pre-junior, or if you're a youth member, you also get a discount. So I believe the juniors are 40. And yep. And I think what's important to say about that is we know that it's hard for families to go on vacation together anymore. Oh my goodness, the amount of money it is to get everybody into Disney World, for example, is insane. And so we are trying to make sure that this is an affordable family vacation for our Grange families. We include all of the dinners: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Some of our Granges have stepped up to sponsor some of the other meals or other things, like individuals or Granges. And so the Saturday breakfast is included. There's coffee included most mornings, or a coffee bar of some sort. So that's all part of that cost. As well as this year, we're debuting a few things. And each year we do some type of apparel. So this year we're talking about a lightweight hoodie of some sort, kind of like the one that I'm wearing, which is nice because it'll be a little chilly at nights up there in the Upper Peninsula. So that's something to also factor in, that this vacation becomes affordable because you have lots of options for kind of cutting costs and getting your souvenirs as part of the package. Carrie, I don't know if you know if we are talking about what other items we're debuting. But I'm going to say I don't want to bust that secret just yet. So instead, maybe we can just note what your favorite part of the meals were in last year.
My favorite part of the meals were, besides eating,
Well, yeah.
the fact that we get to all eat together, like we get to grab our food and then you get to go sit by somebody from Pennsylvania, or you get to go sit by somebody from Maine, somebody who maybe you've seen at national session, but you haven't really spoken to a lot. And you get to, ask them about what they like to do at home, and they get to ask you about what you do at home. And, it's a lot of fun. You get to do things that you might not normally do.
Yeah, absolutely. You get to meet all kinds of people, right?
Mhm.
The other thing I think we should note is for registration, we had previously been sending invoices through PayPal and obviously allowing people to send checks or money orders with physical print registrations. Many of you might know that there have been a couple of different changes with IRS and rules changes for banking and different things. And so it went from a $20,000 minimum or maximum before you were taxed on things that you were receiving through PayPal or Cash App or those things to 600. And so we have stopped taking payments through PayPal because obviously Chris doesn't want to be put into a new tax bracket based on her information being on the Grange Revival stuff. So we are asking people, if you have registered online, to send a check for Grange Revival instead. And hopefully we'll get Chris back and be able to go over more of that. Or if you have questions about that, you can let us know. So Carrie, how are you getting to Revival?
Praying for no hurricanes or
Oh, there we go. We can hear you. Okay, so no tornadoes. So you're driving up.
driving through Wisconsin to get to the UP.
Nice. Nice. Are you caravanning with anyone? Because I know that's one thing we've encouraged people to do.
I don't know. Because I'm trying to get there a little early before everybody else so I can set up my tent, because I don't like people to watch me do that because it's embarrassing. So I'm gonna arrive a little early just so I can, be embarrassed by myself with, not people I know around.
Fair. Fair.
But Carrie, if you wait for me to get there, I can help you on your site, since we're sharing a site.
Yeah, I know, but trust me, we've had camps in the state of Illinois, and everybody tries to help me put up my tent, and I'm like, please leave me alone. And then I get it put up, and they're like, how did you do that by yourself? I'm like, I can do it by myself, but I don't like you watching me. And they actually stood at the end of the tent and watched me the whole time. And so I was like, you saw me do it. That's how I did it.
Right.
Betsy's very worried about putting up a tent. I'm sure, or putting up our lodging. I'm sure. I think that only includes us bringing our own washcloths or something, because we definitely got a cabin the last couple of years. And I'm super stoked about that because I know I'm not going to have to sleep on the ground. But y'all crazy people could do that, or you could do something cool like have an RV or a camper that you bring. I know that's what Chris is doing, and this is where I'm trying to see if her screen stuff is coming back. Chris, RV stuff.
I think I'm on. Am I on?
You're on.
Can you hear me?
But we can hear you, but we can't really see your lips moving.
Oh, well, I can see my lips moving, so I guess that's good for me, right?
Just do your best, Chris. Here,
So
while you're
where are we at?
So we were just talking about possibly caravanning, although we didn't quite cover that, but
Yep.
we were tossing around the different ways in which you can be lodged at Revival. And we do try to make sure that every time we pick a site,
Okay.
we've got RVs, tents, yurts, maybe even, and campground lodging of
Yep.
some sort, like a hotel or a.
Right. Right. One of the things Dwayne and I were working on our travel this morning, actually, we backed up from Tuesday the 18th, and we're going to be leaving Spokane on Saturday the 9th, and tried to, it's a different era than when we could just leave the driveway and find a spot when we felt like pulling off the road. So for those that are wanting to go and haven't kind of figured out what route they're going to take and where they're going to stay, I would suggest that you start doing that if it's going to be several nights on the road. In fact, we're struggling on a couple of the nights to find a place to park. So, but on the other hand, pretty darn exciting about knowing where we're going to be the night of July 9th and July 10th and on down the road. We're using Harvest Hosts 5 times on the way back. So pretty excited about seeing that benefit. I see some amazing roadside attractions, the biggest buffalo in the world in North Dakota, the largest babe and the blue oxen, and the big guy that goes with him in Minnesota. So yeah, some fun stuff along the way for certain. But check out that host if you're inclined to want to do that. If you're taking an RV and need a spot to park, once you join at whatever level you wish, you stay at the locations for free. So it makes up the 5 nights will more than pay for our annual membership in Harvest Host. So pretty cool with that. And then looking at a whole bunch of different options for things to do once we get up into the UP. So lots going on. Have we talked about the quiz yet for tonight?
No. So we kind of
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. So we kind of noted that the group dinners, we were talking a little bit about the fun with those. But we didn't get and how breakfast and lunch are on your own. We didn't talk too much about the sponsored meals, and from there on, we're wide open.
Well, let's do a couple of quiz questions. Does that work?
That works.
Yeah.
So
I'm game.
Phil, do you have the capability? Do you have the capability when somebody buzzes in with the answer to know who was first? Maybe they can
use
raise their
screen.
hand or.
Oh yeah, there is the hand raise feature. If you all can access that on.
Yeah, well, if they're technically, I am, I can't even find my own hand, much less the one on Zoom now. So.
I've got it in the mode that I can in gallery mode, so I can see everybody as long as their cameras are on, which people aren't. So I will do my best, and more people are joining right now. So let's let some folks get in here.
So have them raise their hand. Answer. So there's 5 quiz questions, and the folks that answer those right are going to get a special prize, which is going to be a giveaway to all of those paid participants for Revival. We're not going to reveal that yet because it's kind of actually, we're pretty darn excited about it, and they're pretty awesome. And what we'll do is we're not going to tell you what it is tonight, but the winners of the questions we'll get them mailed to them, and then they can start being the proud owner of said and help us advertise with it. So the first question is what state or states border the Upper Peninsula? Ready, go.
First person with a hand.
Awesome.
Oh, Amanda had a hand, but she
Yeah,
can't-
but I definitely shouldn't be the one answering this. I had to think about that. So I defer. I think
Paul, is
So
your hand up?
don't let them, I mean, they can't like Google it on their phone either. I mean, let's spit some answers out there.
No.
I see Barbara's calculating. Barbara's got her hand
Fourth
up.
grade.
Okay, it's Minnesota, Wisconsin, of course, Michigan. They're the 3 states that touch the Upper Peninsula. Or is it just Wisconsin and Michigan?
There you go. There you go. Wisconsin, and if you want to count Michigan touching, then you can. But Wisconsin is the other state.
It is.
Okay.
Jason
So-
Lighthouses gets you somewhere. You win prizes.
Yeah. What's the name of the bridge that connects the Upper Peninsula to the Lower Peninsula? And you get extra credit if you can spell it correctly.
Oh, well, forget that one.
Oh, Joyce used the hand raise app.
It's over.
Joyce, go ahead.
Marty says.
Mackinac Bridge.
That's correct.
Mackinac Bridge.
Mac-
Can you spell that for us, Marty?
No, he can't.
Yeah, yes, no, I just. If I spell it, you won't want it. Never mind.
All right, Marty, since you're on a roll, I'll bet you can come up with this one as well. What Cornish dish is very popular in the UP?
Pasties. Pasties, and I hope we're having
There you
them.
go. Uh, and look at that. The Michigan State Grange spelled it
They
correctly.
spelled it
Good job,
correctly. Thanks,
guys.
Chris and Connie. I'm gonna credit that one to Connie, let's be real.
So yes, the Cornish dish, brought over by the copper miners from Cornwall is the pasty. And what is the common nickname for people from the UP?
Betsy's got her hand up.
The Upers.
Youpers. Yeah, Youpers is correct. When I was at the Michigan State Grange Convention a year or so ago, I called them UPers. And that was kind of funny, but was told, no, we are not UPers, we are Youpers. So lesson learned. And that'll be a pro tip that I can pass along to everybody else is don't call them UPers. And then what is the least visited of all the national parks? And, you know, we're dealing with the UP, that might be a hint of where its location is. But anybody have an idea of what the least visited of all, what is it, 62 or 64 national parks right now? 62. And you will need to make some arrangements and some planning if you want to visit.
Is it up on Fort Royale?
There you go.
I don't know what
Part
the
of
name of it is.
Does it have a lighthouse on it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah,
Well,
it
then
does.
Barbara should definitely know this.
It's the island of Royale, but I don't know if
Yep.
if it has any
No, I
more
think-
name to it than that.
No, it's Isle Royale National Park,
Okay.
and it is an island. It does have a lighthouse, and there's more people that visit Yosemite in a day than visit Isle Royale in a year. So hard to get to. You've got to
Yes.
get yourself over to the island, and there's a ferry system that goes back and forth on the same day if you don't want to spend the night, because anything spending the night, you'd be doing the tent thing or the under the stars thing.
Where does the ferry go from? I didn't know there was a ferry out to the island.
Both sides. It goes from like Copper Harbor on that peninsula over, or you can get to it from the Minnesota side of Lake Superior and go out to it from there. So it goes both directions up to the island. If
That
you
one's a new one on me.
yeah, if you look up Isle Royale National Park and how to get there, it gives you the options.
Okay.
You can take a seaplane out as well. You can fly yourself out there.
That
So
I
you got
knew,
some-
but I just didn't know you could. I know you could go by boat, but I didn't think there was a ferry as such.
Yeah, it's a walk-on ferry. You don't take any vehicles.
No, I
You
knew
can take-
that.
You can take your kayak and you can take your bicycle, but no motorized vehicles.
Sounds like
So
we need
those-
to have a day
those-
trip.
I was gonna say, so this actually is a really good transition, right, Phil? That we can talk a little bit about the loosey goosiness of Grange Revival and how Barbara may go track down that lighthouse, but I may not have no interest in that, and I may decide to go for an extra day of quilt shop hopping. You get to kind of make your own schedule, but we also provide, and Carrie, I know, can talk a little bit about this, some ideas of what other folks are doing or what are optional plans for the day, and kind of like a cruise ship you can jump on. So let me kind of pivot us to that on activities, the what's going on that's actually happening that everybody can get involved with, and then the what optional stuff.
Wednesday night, we are having a veterans happy hour during the 5 o'clock hour before dinner during the 6 o'clock hour. On Tuesday, we can sign up for our cornhole tournament and we can start playing anytime after we get put into our brackets. And then on Saturday night, we will have our championship game, match, whatever you'd like to call it. What else? Let me look at my notes. I believe Amanda is going to coordinate a quilt shop hop on Thursday. All of those are subject to change depending on when our big tour is going to be. We know that we are going to go on a tour to the Sulaks. We just don't know exactly when it will be. So,
And that's also covered as part of our registration costs. So that's a really cool feature, I think, of this as well. Chris, I don't know if you wanted to talk more about, we let them know about apparel, we let them know about the evening meals, and we now let them know about the tour. But what's covered and not covered, we kind of glazed over.
Yeah, so as Amanda said earlier, the $75 registration fee for adult Grange members up to Gold Chief, we give a break to Gold Chief members, but that $75 is going to get you 5 evening meals. It's going to get you a tour through the locks as part of the group. It's going to get you this special revival giveaway that we're also using for the prizes for the tour. And it's going to get you a piece of apparel. So there's, and who knows what we're going to throw in between now and July in addition. So that's the beauty of is all of the different things that we're able to make this value added and make sure that these families and folks that are coming feel like it's worth their time, worth their while, worth their savings to join us for the week, or most of the week anyway. So those activities that we're doing, Amanda mentioned, it's like a cruise ship, right? There's a ton of stuff going on. There's a bunch of people doing a bunch of different things, and you can do as much or as little as fits your flavor of the day. If you want to sit on that edge of that lake and hang out and chit chat with somebody that you've just met, that's the perfect thing to do. And if you want to jump in the car and go up and see the shoreline somewhere along Lake Superior, then go ahead and go do that. But it's nobody's going to make you feel guilty about missing something. If you don't want to play cornhole, you don't have to. If we just ask that if you're not going to be around for the meals, that you try to let us know so we can make the proper arrangements for how much food we're buying. But yeah, really, it's you do what you want to do. And one of the things that I learned today, which is pretty darn exciting, is we are going to be in a location and the time of the year when we have a good opportunity to perhaps see the Aurora Borealis, which
really?
So that you don't know what that is, that's the Northern Lights, or those pretty awesome green, pink, purples that you can see. And so there may be some opportunity to sit around late into the evening and keep our eye open for some Northern Lights. So that's pretty exciting, and looking forward to the opportunity to maybe share that with folks that are from a part of the country that don't get to see that. I know we can see it here from Spokane once in a while, and we've seen them up in Alaska, but definitely you never miss the old Aurora when she's out. She is unbelievable and something that you'll remember forever. So that's a pretty cool thing that's a possibility as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's on my bucket list.
Chris,
Yeah.
Chris is Jody. How we? So we don't normally get to see the northern lights in the Northeast, but depending on how much moonshine you consume that evening, the sky's pretty colors.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no doubt about it.
But Massachusetts is graciously procured a vocalist for one of the evenings to sing for us, which sounds lovely. And we are going to do our Dutch oven desserts one evening, and another night we're going to make homemade ice cream.
I should also mention that Jody Cameron from Connecticut is our chief cook, but this year not our chief bottle washer. And I will let Jody tell us a little bit about what kind of food we might think of expecting, or what kind of food they've had before, or whatever he's willing to reveal quietly. But also the plan for volunteers for the kitchen.
So good evening, everybody. What we have planned thus far is whatever we can find on side of the road, because we're not certain where the markets are at this point. So we figure we're in the upper UP, the upper peninsula, that you know, roadkill must be bountiful. So we're going to try some of that one
Fish?
night.
Barbara's all in for it. I can see that.
Barbara's in. But no, seriously, we don't have the menu fully set. It's going to be more on the simple side this year, whatever that means, because of our location, because of the limited refrigeration. But one thing that we're doing is everyone's going to be assigned a group, if you will, for the lack of a better term, when you register, when you get there, and the 5 nights will be broken out with what night that will have help with setup and cleanup, and that way everybody can enjoy as much of the evening as possible. Because as nice as it is to go off and sightsee all day long, it's really nice to be able to sit down and put your feet up and relax and visit in the evening. So we want to make it fair and equitable to everybody, and we know Grange members aren't afraid to get their hands wet in dishwater. So
It's true. We also have a couple other people to thank, right, Chris, for stepping forward to provide us some things like coffee socials and other meals. So yeah.
Yeah, the Vermont State Grange Youth are going to be doing a morning coffee social every day. So that's a new addition. So that's pretty exciting and a great place to. We'll find that location, and everybody can wander down with their coffee cup and get the day started. I know there's the Campbells and the Fishevitzes from Pennsylvania are going to go together and provide a tomato soup and grilled cheese lunch one day. And so looking forward to that. The Jaguar family out of Massachusetts is going to do a pancake breakfast. And they're just kind of waiting on us to let them know when the best day would be for that, based on how other things kind of fall into time slots. And then
also all things included in that registration fee, right, Chris?
Yep. It is. Yeah. When somebody says that they're going to sponsor, whether that's an activity like the Jones Smith family has graciously said that they would handle the cornhole tournament. So, and West Stockbridge Range in Massachusetts is providing that singer on the one evening for our entertainment. So when a Grange or a couple of families say that they're going to sponsor something and take care of something, that means they're going to bring the items that are necessary to do that activity or to for that meal. So yeah, that's a value added as well for our participation, is those other events or meals that are happening along the way. So, you know, the Dutch oven desserts one night. I think last time, what we have, like about 20 something Dutch ovens, and every one of them had was full of an amazing dessert, and everybody just kind of went around and around until those things, you didn't even have to wash them. They were pretty much scraped clean by the time everybody got done. And the same with the ice cream. So the folks that choose to bring a Dutch oven and provide a dessert, they're doing that out of their own graciousness, and everybody else gets to partake. So yeah, pretty fun deal. And for those folks that want to learn how to make ice cream or how to make a Dutch oven, cook your dinner, there's folks there that'll help them. You know, one of my favorite memories of the Arkansas trip, actually, two memories. One was Linda and Lois Kesby from New York teaching the kids how to use their ice cream making machine, right? And just the energy and the excitement that those two ladies have for life in general, and making ice cream that night in particular was a memory that I'll always have. And those kids were absolutely enthralled with them and how to make ice cream, that this process was going to make ice cream. And then the second memory is with the Dutch ovens, is Joe Fryman, and I think I saw that Frymans were on tonight here as well, was Joe Fryman with that famous photo that ended up on the front of Good Day magazine of his feet up as he was watching that Dutch oven cook dessert that night. And so those are the things, that's the reason that we go, is for those memories of watching folks just enjoy being there and enjoy sharing with each other. And I think that's the thing. If you're on the fence and you're trying to figure out whether you want to come, remembrances. And we've got some new folks coming this year.
Good.
And there are still some spaces left at the campground. And obviously we're still taking registrations. I know that Chris was in contact with Lisa from the campground today to find out how many spaces we have left. And we have a few tent spaces, a few RV spaces, and I believe there may be one cabin left, but I need to confirm that with her. So if you're considering being one of those new faces, it's a great year to do that.
Yeah. So Amanda, apart from personal items, or Carrie, either one of you can take this, apart from, my sleeping bag, my tent, my air mattress, my clothes, what else do I need to bring? This is my first time. Like, am I responsible for my own cutlery? Like, what do I need to bring?
So there will be like napkins and I believe some plastic ware or what have you there, although we do really encourage you to bring some cutlery. This year, one of the things that we are doing, hope I'm supposed to say this, is we are providing a Grange Revival engraved or screen printed tray, kind of like a cafeteria tray, so that you can get all your different items on that. You'll have to wash that and take it back. So these are things to think about, whether you're gonna Sharpie marker your name on it or what have you, but we're trying to reduce some of our waste and truly be good stewards. And so that's one way that we can do that. Also give you something to take home after this event. And maybe enjoy at your next Grange meetings potluck, because I love little carved out spaces for food. But you'll also want to just bring some snacks for yourself, things like that. And you may want to bring some things like, drink mixes or what have you, because we'll put out water throughout the day, but obviously any of the drinks or drink mixes or whatever would be good for you to pack as well, Phil. What else am I missing, Carrie?
Coffee cup.
Ooh, a coffee mug.
Water
Well, of course,
bottle.
a coffee mug's in my packing lunch. but-
I mean, just like we're providing the trays for the meals, but we're not gonna provide your coffee cup and your drinking cup for everything. And we're gonna try and be good stewards for the environment and reuse our stuff. So trust me, we all have water bottles or cups or, I have like 3 sitting right around me. So just bring your stuff and we'll have water and possibly lemonade ready that you can refill from all day. And other than that, you can wash it when you wash your dinner tray.
Awesome. Well, we're at about 50 minutes here, so I want to thank our Grange Revival Committee. If anybody has any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. But in the meantime, earlier, Chris was mentioning about stopping and using Harvest Host along the way as an RV driver. I do want to mention that Harvest Host is a benefit of being a National Grange member, that by using your membership, you can save 20% off of your Harvest Host membership by using the promo code Grange when you register. It's that simple. And that way you save then on your sites as you go through. Oh, Chris is getting back on, so we'll see if she has anything last minute to add. There is an article coming out about some other things you can expect at Grange Revival in the current edition of Good Day Magazine, which should be hitting mailboxes any day now. And there's Chris, she's back. Chris, any last thoughts as we wrap up, besides how we wish technology would cooperate tonight?
Well, yeah, I want to apologize to everybody that's on. I'm not sure why we're having difficulties, but we sure are tonight. So I apologize for that. And I mean, the last piece would be, I can't imagine a more fun event. That the part that was so exciting in 21 was when we announced the location for 23. By the next night, every cabin there was booked. Oh, and that's what I have actually, is I do have information from the campground that came in this afternoon about what's left. Have we talked about that at all?
We did mention that we know there's tent and RV sites, but not how many or what types.
Yep.
So
So all the cabins are reserved. There are no more cabins available. And they do have 3 full hookup sites available. If you're looking to make that call, let Lisa know that you want sites 4, 7, or 10. 4, 7, or 10 are full hookups. And then there's electric and water only sites at 23, 24, and 41. So 3 full hookups, 3 water and power only. And then there's a handful that are electric only. But yeah, the cabins are booked. And then we will figure out probably Wednesday night, as a group, we will announce the 25 location and get out the save the date and all the pertinent information for everybody. So we're still way through the RFP process and working on making our decision for 25. So yeah, pretty fun. And like I said, Dwayne and I spent a couple hours this morning working on our trip. We've got ourselves there. We haven't even begun to work on getting ourselves home yet. So, but yeah, a little over 2,000 miles. And that's just getting there. And so all in, all ready to go for a great week with a bunch of great folks. And I know Jody and Jody Ann are on. I know Fryman's are on, Bill Quist. So I'm looking at Barbara right now. These are folks that have been, if not to both of them so far, at least one of them. And Chris and Connie Johnston and their boys as well. So anybody else want to give us a shout out or let folks know that that it's the real deal? It's a good time.
It's a lot of fun. Just getting to enjoy being with other Grangers and just relax. We got a cabin and filled it with a couple other families just so that we could have breakfast together and enjoy having time together.
I do want to point out that based on what's happening in the chat right now, that you should also pack your bug spray.
Oh, I'm sure.
Since Connie says the mosquitoes are the size of bald eagles, so, and that there are ticks. So,
And your sunscreen, if you might be there.
I'm
Are you
excited
going
to
to need
finally have
any
them.
of the, the where you set them up? They're like a tent, but just the top. Are you going to need any of
The
those?
pop-ups? Probably, those would be lovely.
Yeah, we've talked about, and we'll start sending that out in our emails about what sorts of things would be super handy if folks have the room and have one, in their garage or their basement or somewhere they can drag along with them. But yeah, the
'cause we're
pop-up,
driving this year, so.
yep, the pop-up tents will be great. I know we have a screen tent, which is like a pop-up tent with screen walls on it that you can put, you can put it anywhere you want to put it, but it fits over the top of a picnic table. So if you wanted to play
Yeah.
card, something like that. So anybody that has those
Yeah.
screen tents, that would be a great deal as well because of those mosquitoes. And yeah, we'll get information out. The other thing we forgot about mentioning that comes with the cost of registration is everybody gets a meal tray this year, kind of like the trays that you have at the college door. What do I want to say?
Cafeteria.
The
Dining hall.
cafeteria, Chris.
Yeah. I know at Western we use them and slide down the hill, use them as sleds and slide down the hill on them. But everybody gets their own tray. So we did that to try to minimize our footprint with styrofoam and paper plates and all that kind of stuff. So folks will be able to bring their own divided tray and then take it back and wash it in their RV or bring it back for the next day. So that's pretty excited about those. Got a heck of a deal from my Tupperware selling cousin and have had those things on the shelf in the shop for most of 2 years now. Yeah. So we'll be to get rid of those babies.
Well,
They're on a
Anybody-
lake, so if anybody wants to go fishing, they will need to purchase a Michigan fishing license for the day.
Oh yeah, that's right.
good point.
And I believe
And
that
the other
it was $15 per day.
Yeah, and the other thing that Dwayne and I just purchased today was the Michigan pass for state parks and trailheads and campgrounds. Even if you're going to spend, it does not. You can't go to a state campground and camp without having the permit as well. So we got that ordered today, so we'll be good to go. But yeah, lots of stuff out there to check on, and we'll start getting that out to the email group of the folks that we know that are going, and so they have plenty of time to make those arrangements.
Is there one person collecting information about things to go see and do? Who's
Yeah,
collecting it?
Yep, Tony Fishovitz is working on that, and we'll have a list of things like he did for that Sturgis area.
Because I have several from when we've been up there and just didn't know who to send it to.
Yeah, you can always just send it to me, Barbara, and I can get it
Okay.
to Tony. And we can.
Sounds good.
add that to the list.
Great. Well,
The other thing is that if you have a Stormy Cromer in your closet at home, bring it along. There's going to be a Stormy Cromer fashion show, and maybe we'll vote to see who's got the best Stormy Cromer.
What
Um,
is
can
that?
you
What in the
explain?
world is
All of us
that?
from the East Coast are confused as to what a stormy.
I'm gonna say, what in the heck is that?
No, this is part of the fun. Everybody can Google Stormy Cromer, 2 words, Stormy, common spelling, Cromer, Kromer. Find out what a Stormy Cromer is, and I'll expect everybody to come with a Stormy Cromer. And we'll have a group photo with our Stormy Cromers on.
Those look awfully warm for this time of year. Just
Yeah, but they the mosquitoes off your ears.
that's true.
No, I got
Yeah.
a pretty cute one in mind.
Yep.
Living in
doesn't have them
Florida,
in a
I'm
big
not
enough
too
hat
sure
size.
we're gonna have any. From the sounds
Oh.
of that,
The internet is full of wonderful things.
that is true.
Well, on that note, thank you all for being here tonight. We're at our hour mark, and thank you, Chris and Amanda and Carrie and Jody, who was on, for providing us some information about Grange Revival. We are only a little over, 3 months away from Grange Revival. That just scared me because I have a lot of things happening in that time span. So please make your reservations now. April 15th is the end of the early bird registration. Register online at grangerevival.com and get your payments into Chris as soon as you can. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all in Curtis this summer, if not before.